Hi, Anna.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, still fine.
I
Yeah,
hear you.
I put in 3 Zoom links on Monday, which was probably almost yesterday, and
Mhm.
thought I had done the building committee, and of course I
Oh,
hadn't.
okay.
And
I thought it was me. I thought I couldn't find it on the page properly, so you're good.
and Anna, can you tell me what? Well, you probably could you send me an email with your cell phone in it? Because
Sure.
Stephen was looking for it, and he would like it too.
Sure. Do you want me to just reply all to the, oh, wait, that's select board. I won't do that. Why am I, let's see. I will find it. Is yours just the town admin one? Is that
Yeah.
the, okay, yep. I will send that to you right now.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Okay, since we're all here, I call the meeting to order at 5:33. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So did I miss minutes, Frank, or are they,
I had the garlic and arts this past weekend. It
Oh,
was amazing, but I'm now a
great.
organizer on this, and I just didn't have time the past week and a half, and the Zoom wasn't put on until sometime on Monday. I didn't even look, but it hadn't been up before that, so we'll get to it next meeting.
okay.
Great.
Okay, update on Dam Keeper's roof. So I guess a week and a half ago, um, we replaced we didn't replace, we covered the asphalt shingle roof with a new uh, sort of medium gray metal roof. Uh, and I think it looks good. Should make Howie Kinder happy and the roof leak free for a while.
Looks good, real good from this end of the lake.
Yeah, it looks good from the road too. So Jeff, I know you have contacted somebody about the leak at the roof at the library roof.
Yeah, the firm from Ludlow that Frank sent me information on, they're coming, their representative is coming tomorrow at 9 o'clock and to take a look and try to determine what's going on. The gentleman from Deerfield never responded to any of my phone calls. So we'll see where we go with the Ludlow group. And Mary Ann's going to
Okay.
be
That was
here at the
my
library.
experience.
Pardon?
That was also my experience with Hawkins, but he would just show up and do it and leave me a bill in the mail box, which was fine, on the personal level, but not surprised to hear it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I met with him, I think it was in the spring,
Right.
and he was going to just, show up one day and do it.
Yeah,
But
that's how it
hasn't
goes.
shown up.
Yep. So tomorrow, around 9 o'clock, somewhere between 9 and 10. And then Becky, um,
You
what
want
are the requirements in terms of paying this and would they have to pay prevailing wage rates
Yes,
and all that stuff?
yes, if they're not a sole proprietor.
Yeah, which I doubt they are.
So I should order the roofing prevailing wages so you have them to give them. Might take a
Okay.
day. Okay, I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
you want some company, Jeff?
I think Stateland's coming,
Okay.
since he's already been up there once before,
Twice before.
twice before. So you're gonna be the old hat. Okay.
Right. Okay, so recently, well, this past Monday, I met Eric Stocker up at Town Hall to essentially just talk to them, the select board. He was representing the select board about the meeting room in the basement of Town Hall. You know, they would like to make it a more, we'll say, visually organized and appealing space. And, you know, I was making some suggestions, but I had made it pretty clear to Rita, she talked to me several weeks ago about this, that, you know, that would be a low priority thing at this point for the building committee. You know, we have limited funds and we have a lot of what I think we would agree would be more pressing issues than making the town meeting hall more attractive. I mean, I certainly agree. It's not, it's not a very refined space, and it'd be nice, um, but in talking with Becky this afternoon before the meeting, she was talking with Eric. Becky, I'm talking about my talking with Eric, and I was going to throw this out, and if I'm wrong in what I remember that you told me, basically the select board is would be interested in the building committee being involved, I think, physically in doing work. And, you know, one of the suggestions that I had made was that the heating pipes, which are the copper pipes, which are insulated with the black neoprene, I think it is, tubing, that you could probably spray paint that without hurting it. And if you painted it the same color as the ceiling, it'll kind of disappear, you know, low cost. Well, Becky told me that Makepeace was saying, oh no, you have to box it in. And
Well, that was her suggestion to make it look nice.
yeah, okay.
So she was, when we were talking about, and I said, after a meeting, I had said, well, maybe we could just spray paint it. And her thinking was more to make it more professional and box it in, but it's a lot more work, and I'm not sure who's gonna, I guess we have to hire somebody to do the work, but I think I don't know what Stephen just said when I was talking to the fire chief, but his thinking about this cosmetic stuff comes after all the priority stuff.
Right.
And this is not a project. All I said to the select board was that, you know, that we shouldn't be looking, you shouldn't be looking to the buildings committee to do any actual work. They're here to advise and help. They've got tons of projects they're working on. So I just was making sure, because I've often ended up doing the physical work that makes things happen, like my office and the other office and the one down the hall. So I was just making sure that the expectations are set appropriately.
Right. Yeah. And I think we all agree that it's a project that if we actually, it's not even identified in the report, the cosmetic nature of that space. But assuming that it would be low priority. I mean, very low priority at this point. And, you know, we have enough high priority items and things that we can spend our limited resources on before needing more money for more of these high priority things. Okay, so when I was up there with Eric, I then went and stood on the parking lot of the post office and looked over at the two let's say, war memorials and where a gazebo would go if you built it for the signboard. And I have mentioned this, I think, in the past, but looking at it more closely, I think it would be, say, a visual mess, having a gazebo and then these two memorials. There's no relationship between them other than they just be jammed together. And I was mentioning this to Eric, and I also said, one of my first issues was that the signboards typically aren't protected. And he seems to agree with that. But, and I sent that brief letter after our last meeting to the select board.
The
But
majority, just so you know, Stephen, especially the majority of the select board conversation, they reviewed your letter at the last meeting. I don't believe, I think Frank might have been there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Frank was there. And
I was there and quoted in the newspaper.
and so what am I saying? I
you
lost
were
my.
saying about the select board.
Oh,
There-
the select board started talking about not doing anything. And just leaving it, putting it back out there, and in 30 years, do it all over again if it has to be done again. It seemed to be the direction. They did not make a final decision. They will be talking about it more on the October 8th meeting, I think.
Okay. So I'm happy with that.
I have a quick question. Seeing it's October 2024, when is the new conference room at the library going to be opened?
Hopefully in a year, right?
You mean the new library?
The new library, yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully in the
year.
summer.
Yeah, so isn't
That's
that, you're making that meeting room really pretty, and we're getting another really pretty meeting room that the hybrid meetings can be met in.
I don't
Yeah.
think we're planning to meet there
Why would that be?
because, believe it or not, we have things in this building that we utilize. That would mean taking all our hybrid equipment over there when they're setting up their own. That wouldn't make sense. And the hope is that we can expand a hybrid meeting space, not reduce it or keep it the same.
So that's what I'm saying. So if it's just the select board's having a hard time with cosmetics, if the buildings committee had a hybrid meeting, I don't think I have a problem with cosmetics in that room right now. All right, so paint down the road.
And I think we need sandblasting at that end, but that should not fall to this committee.
Sandblasting, is this in the,
I mean, sanding or whatever to get that, so we can paint that surface at the end.
I know which one you're talking about.
Banner typically goes, it's all pock marked.
Right,
It looks like handprints all over it.
right. Okay, moving on, unanticipated items. I have a couple things. So, Russ Wilson has been very generous helping out things. I mean, he led the way on the replacement of the dam keeper's roof. And I would like to know if the committee's comfortable with me scheduling with him when he has time, other projects that he, with some help, and I'm willing to be his gopher helper, can do, like the ridge shingles on the fire department are shot. And I don't think leaking yet. But that's a project that we talked about. There's also rotted siding at the base of the front of the fire department, each side of the entry door, and then around back where there's no kick-out flashing. There's some pretty significant rot in the siding. There'll be a second project. And, so we're just talking about material cost. And so my question is the committee comfortable? I mean, these two things would take, probably until the time we have a next meeting, if they're even both done by then. But when we get the action levels, all the action levels resolved, and I think we're at a point where once we do that, even though I still need to go through the elementary school, I think we can make some decisions about where to, say, spend some money, and have contractors do the work. And we know that's a process that takes some time, getting the estimates and then getting somebody to do the work. So anybody's thoughts about,
So can you clarify what it is you're asking us?
well, is it okay to go ahead with replacing the ridge shingles? And we'll probably need to replace the ridge vent because the shingles are nailed through the existing ridge vent. We'll buy the material for a new vent, but if we don't need it, we can return it. Doing that on the fire department, and then replacing this rotted siding at the base of the wall. It's
So
not as
Russ-
bad looking
Russ
as
is-
the, pardon?
Russ has agreed to work on this?
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
you were asking us if it's okay for us to talk to, or if it's okay for you to talk to Russ.
Oh, no, we're already, if
You're past
nobody
that
has
point.
any objections, we're probably going to be doing the work next Wednesday.
I have no objection then.
I don't have, that's fine with me.
Okay.
Just want to make sure we know what we were talking about. Okay.
Yeah. And then Becky, do you know yet what the material cost was for the dam keeper's roof?
No,
Okay.
I haven't gotten the bill yet.
Okay. And then other thing I have is I asked Becky earlier today if, given Steve Sullivan is no longer on the committee, should we try to find another committee member? And she said yes. And there's a gentleman who lives at Lake Wyola. His name's Phil Parker, and he lives not too far, a block and a half away from us. And I've gotten to know him a little bit, and he's retired and he has a skill set. So I actually saw him this evening, just before the meeting, and I asked him to consider being on the committee. So he's going to consider that. And
Just
I
so
think
we
go
need
ahead.
to go through the process of the select board appointing two after the committee recommends somebody.
Okay. All right. I think he would mesh well with us. He's, I'd say, a low ego guy. I mean, he's not going to be trying to get his way. And given that he's retired and has a skill set, if there are other projects that we want to try taking care of ourselves, I think he might be available, assuming that he would do this.
Do you know what his work background is?
No. No.
I'll probably need to let the select board know what he retired from. If you might find out, that would be helpful, Stephen.
I will. I got his contact information and I can ask him past work experience.
What was his name again?
Phil Parker.
Okay. And are we looking for more than one person? Like, is there a number of people we want on the committee that's like an ideal number? Do we always want an odd number in case we fight about something? Or what are our general parameters?
Odd is good. 5 is a very workable number. If you have other people you're thinking of.
Only because you brought it up, it reminded me I met a new resident of Shutesbury, and her background is in like city planning, so it's not exactly related, direct building, but pretty related as town volunteers go. No clue if she would be interested or has the time, but it just occurred to me listening to Stephen talk.
Is she working or retired?
Working.
Family?
Oh yeah.
Who is it?
You're gonna make me admit on recording that I don't remember her name. I met her. She has a kid in my kid's class, so her kid came to our birthday party, and I need to remind myself what her name is.
I think I know who it is.
Okay.
But I think my wife met her last week.
Okay. As a third grader, if that connects the dots.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
our new admin secretary has, Abby Hernandez has a third grader.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Cause she
Great.
was saying, is that the grade where they all got together for dinner the other day, a couple weeks ago?
I hope not, because we did not do that.
Oh,
Can't read all the emails because I'm on
It
the
was
committee,
third grade.
There's so
I
many
hope
emails.
And are you still a good mother?
I know, right? Thank you. Thank you.
sorry about that. I better
Okay.
check out that story again.
It's okay. I don't think it was us.
But cause, all right.
All right. Whatever. It is what it
Change
is.
this subject, we're going down the wrong holes here. Oh, man.
I have some new news for us, if we want. I've asked, I taught uh, Jen Malcolm Brown ceramics, and her husband, Jamie, I don't know if anyone knows his picture, is a phenomenal photographer.
Yeah.
And we were talking the other day. I said it'd be really nice if we got a aerial view like you all asked for, or something to put on the website. And he'd be happy to do it. He went out there one day and the light wasn't just right. So he must have the light right and everything else. So hopefully we might be seeing something in the near future of a drone footage of the Shutesbury work that we did on the elementary school.
Cool.
Oh, very cool.
Hmm. He's got, if you ever go, he's on Instagram and a few other places, but some of the stuff he does is amazing.
What's his name?
Jamie Malcolm Brown.
He used to be our webmaster for a while.
Mm.
But
He's got drones. He's got a few other things. He does long exposures to see the aurora borealis that was
Mhm.
over Lake Wyola months ago, and he's traveled this summer, so he's widened his horizons to bigger mountains and Mount Mineral than Shutesbury. So
no, he sells his beautiful work at the holiday fair. If anybody wants to check it out.
Okay, does anybody else have anything else before we continue assigning action levels? Okay.
we
Okay, you
co-host.
want to make Frank
That
co-host?
would be
Him,
helpful.
one last thing. This Sunday is the the Shutesbury birthday party celebration. And Susie Mosier, who organizes it, encourages committees to be there, to answer questions, yada, yada. So I did that last year and I'll do it again this year. I'm going to have some photos of some of the projects we completed, like before and after. Like some of the rot at the back on the south wall of the elementary school, and then that south wall after it's been all repaired and painted. Several the dam keeper's roof, what it looked like before, what it looks like now. And that's between 3 and 5. If you're driving by, you can stop and say hi. As we start this, Frank, could you go to the dam keepers building, the
Yep.
roofing? Okay, so if you scroll back to the first entry, so I want to see if this is the way we want to do this. So you can see under roofing, I have metal panel installed 9/2024. And then the question is, should the comment, which is no longer necessary, be erased? Priority high be changed to monitor?
I agree, yeah.
And should we take out the original comment?
You could put that in the history if you want.
Well, you can see what I did in history.
So yeah, that's answer everything. So yeah, I would definitely, I definitely would clear that.
I have a building committee.
So you're saying get rid of the comment?
Yeah,
I mean,
agree.
there's no need to, especially get rid of the comment in the action level because
well, we could just change it to no concerns, really is what, now that there's the new roof, no concerns, action level monitor. Does that make sense?
And do you put redid the roof and history?
Yeah, you'll see if you look after Frank gets rid of the comment, changes it to no concerns.
There you go.
And then if you look at history,
Well, that's great.
okay.
that
So
looks good.
as things are done in the future, that's
Yeah, we'll deal with it.
yeah, okay.
Fine.
All right. Um, so I can't remember if we were finished with Old Town Hall or not. Fire department, there's still some things that need to be.
This is where we left off was plumbing.
Which building is this?
This is Old Town Hall.
Old Town Hall, okay. And what's our options for action level?
Well, since the system's not functional and abandoned, I would assume that it's not applicable.
Till they decide to make the place functional.
Or you could put anticipate future need to replace.
Well, that's, yeah, I think that's good. For the, I think you'd want to put that for water heater, because you'd
Yeah.
want a water heater if you get the system functioning. I would say for the wellhead, because not really sure what's going on there, that maybe that would be future inspection or additional inspection required, further inspection required.
Is that correct language? Well be shallow?
No, see that's the person sitting at the keyboard should have put well appears to be a shallow dug well.
monitor.
Who decided that there's no concerns noted for the service entry?
I did.
You're
Okay.
talking about the wire going into the building?
Yeah, the service is it attaches to the building and the entry cable coming down the side of the building.
Mhm.
And there are no issues that I saw.
Okay.
This is the fire department, right?
No, we're at Old Town Hall.
Oh, we're at Old Town Hall.
Yeah. Fire department we can go to next. There's things that need to be rated there as well.
You want this one to anticipate future need to replace?
So
I
the,
think this is a high priority myself.
Yeah, let's do that.
Mhm.
Monitor? Is there any problem with the wiring?
The only issue, it's really kind of two separate things, but the receptacle below the sub panel, which is down in the basement, ought to be ground fault protected.
Okay, then let's go priority low.
Yep.
Since there's nobody in the building.
Right.
Future need to replace to upgrade to LEDs.
Well, I see that's something maybe I need to take a second look at because I didn't enter anything there.
Stephen, I'm sorry, going back to the wellhead at the Old Town Hall.
Yeah.
So you know that wires and pipes run to the well on the common for that. Shouldn't that be noted somewhere?
Oh, that's right. You told us that. I can change. So the the water for the Old Town Hall comes from the well on the common.
Yes.
Okay.
And is that a deep well or is that a shallow well?
It's that concrete dome you see in front of the
Well,
church.
there's two.
Well-
I think there's a second well. That's what I've always been confused by that. I'm sorry. There's a hand dug one that you would assume is the only one there, but I think another one was installed. I have to go try to find it again. So don't notate anything until
All
I.
right. And I can check that maybe tomorrow after we look at the roof.
So lighting, I leave blank, solar, not applicable, smoke and carbon dioxide detectors.
I think high priority.
And when when the battery dies and they go off and the neighbors call, they call the police department or the buildings committee because no one's in that building.
They probably will never hear it.
Yeah, no one's gonna hear it.
That's interesting. So do we wouldn't want to go to the expense of like an independently monitored system. That seems like kind of a crazy thing to pay for, right?
Actually, I like the idea because it's the records, the historical society,
Okay.
and the voting thing. And if we have all those new ones are cheaper than they used to be because they all use, instead of 5G, they're all using 1 and 2G airwaves. They're not used
Oh.
anymore. And they just put this
Okay.
little antenna up and it goes to whoever.
Oh. I wonder if too, if I mean, I never use these, like, I don't want to use the smart, the Nest and all those like smart CO monitors because I don't know, I like using the thing we're all used to. But I wonder if, since it's not a huge space, if like that is the kind of thing, I don't know whose like phone it would be hooked to, but there's some possibility they're using a smart smoke detector that could be monitored, directly to someone's phone potentially.
It could be the town clerk and or the town administrator. I think that's a good idea.
Not the fire chief?
And the fire chief.
Oh, yeah.
We'll put just the fire chief.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just thinking it could be really a nuisance, but at the same time, if it's an alarm, it's either an emergency or a false alarm. So maybe fire chief does make sense then.
And he has a town cell phone.
Mm,
Has
oh,
a key, he has a
better.
key to that building?
Yes.
An axe. Yes.
So should we be polite and ask him what type of thing he'd like in there next to
Yeah.
those, hot wire that goes right into his station or something?
Yeah.
Low budgeting stuff, and ask what his recommendation would be my suggestion.
I like that idea. Whoever's going to be the one monitoring should have some input on what system we use. It's a good idea.
Do you want one of us to ask Lenny, or Becky, would you like to?
Oh, I don't think we need to do it now, do we? We
No.
haven't prioritized
Right. Okay, that's in the future.
in the future.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'd make it high priority. It feels like a easy, like low hanging fruit.
Right, it's on high priority, yeah.
Oh, I see that. Thank you. I can read. I just don't sometimes.
At the end of the day, monitor for 10.1.
Yep. I'm gonna say this is priority low, because we all still talked about getting work done there, that someday they were gonna vacuum out there so people could go in the crawl space, and if they vacuum underneath that old building, in the future, we could spray the exterior foundation with foam, and all the gaps would be taken care of from the inside.
Well, the building committee is in charge of that vacuuming
Yes,
project. So
that we've been talking about for 4 years, but now that we have a list, we can put priorities on it. We'll figure out where that vacuum stands, so.
Let's go with, I think, priority low on this,
Which priority?
10.2.
low. You
Low,
said
okay.
priority.
Yeah, okay, I didn't hear the low part. Okay,
Monitor,
monitor.
monitor.
Priority low because it matches the exterior.
Well, I need to,
Is there any comment needed?
right, the reason I don't have a comment there is because I actually haven't finished the inspection of the crawl space. I need to go up there with coveralls and my other crawling gear. So, when you go into Old Town Hall, as you walk towards the rear where the platform is, where say the select board or whatever committee's having a meeting, there's quite a bit of undulation and then a significant drop in the floor. And I would love to see if I can't understand from within the crawl space what has happened. Because when you look at the building from the outside, it doesn't suggest the kind of movement in the floor on the inside. It doesn't suggest that on the outside. I mean, it's not perfectly level when you sight the windowsills, but it's much more dramatic inside. So
It's the slab that's undulating, or you're saying the walls?
well, the floor, it's a wood frame
Mhm.
floor, and we're talking about the floor of the town hall, Old Town
Oh,
Hall.
I thought you were saying the slab in the crawl space, the actual.
There's no slab in the crawl space. The only slab is where there's a small basement which
Okay.
is the very back of the building where the additions are.
And part of the talk about clearing out and vacuuming dirt out, if they've asked several people to do it, some said yes, some were very expensive in the past. And the vacuum seemed to be the cheapest way, is because you can't get access to some of the piers that are rotting into the ground on the stone. And that's probably what caused the sinking in the floor.
And what are you suggesting, rotted?
The base of some of those posts is what someone had mentioned once, that they're sitting on old stones that, get temperature driven in the middle there, and they think they might be a few of the posts sitting up that had rotted.
Well, that's why I want to get in there, because what I could see from the access to the crawl space, and I was in one section where there's a lot more head height and I could sort of do a duck walk. There's a few massive stones or boulders on which there's short posts sitting, and I didn't see anything suggesting rot, decay, compression. So that's why I want to spend more time in there. Or if anybody else would like to join me.
Well, we're gonna get
When
you
you,
a head
yeah,
cam.
let me know when you're gonna do that.
And you'll be where? Out of town?
Yep.
I mean, I
for
know
the
I
head-
have a challenging schedule, but I'm happy to do that if we can work it
Yeah,
out. And
I was
don't
planning
mind.
on volunteering Anna. Yeah.
It's fine. I whatever. Spent enough time in crawl spaces and attics. It's good.
Oh, well, then maybe we could team up on that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll dig
We'll
you
get
out.
to-
We'll dig you out.
That's right. Just grab an ankle. Don't you know?
Here, you go left, I'll go right.
Right. I'm the one that doesn't mind the crawl spaces and doesn't mind the critters that sometimes you encounter. So somehow that's become my job here.
Monitor,
Monitor, yep.
10.12 monitor.
You're okay with with water doing that, should be high. You want that monitor too, Stephen?
Oh, in the attic? Yeah, I think, I could see the framing pretty well, and not everything. And one day I might try to carefully move through that attic space, but it looked pretty good.
Monitor, I'll leave that one blank because you haven't gone there. The ventilation is something you're gonna put a comment in, or?
Well, I didn't see any concerns from the scuttle. I didn't see anything suggesting any mold growth. So even though it's not, I mean, I guess, because the building really isn't being heated, there's not a lot of moisture, additional
No
moisture in the
moisture.
building. So I'm guessing that's why there's no sign of any real issues.
Mhm. So you want to put no concerns noted?
Yeah, why don't we do that for now? Oh, seeing 11.4. Becky, did you talk to Grace about my cutting a hole through the roof that's in the,
She said, as long as you fix it when you're done. It's fine with her.
so, okay. She's not going to know if I was thinking of using a hole saw. I got a 3 or 3.5 inch hole saw. When you're in the attic that's above the defunct bathrooms and kitchen at the back of town hall, there's a previous hip roof over, I think, the vault. So I'm assuming the vault was installed, because that has a poured concrete foundation, whereas the bathrooms and kitchen have a concrete block. So I'm thinking those were two different additions. Anyway, you can't tell how much insulation, if any, is over the vault. And that's the one space that's heated and cooled. So that would be the one that ought to have the most insulation, but can't see it. So I was thinking with a hole saw, I could just cut through that roof from the attic and peer in there and see if there's any insulation over the vault.
What's
But
the
she wants to,
ceiling of the vault?
pardon?
What's the ceiling of the vault?
I think it looked like plaster or drywall.
And then there's there concrete above that, or is
I
the
don't know
vault
because, I mean, it could be concrete for all I know. But there's no way to see above the vault right now.
okay? So we don't know if the roof of the vault is really a vault.
I'm sorry.
Do we know if the ceiling roof of the vault is really like a vault, like concrete?
Don't know.
So
I'd
it's
try
not
a
like
drill before you try that 6-inch. A small drill to go up in there before I do a
No,
6
I'm
inch.
not going to try and go through the ceiling of the vault. I'm going through the old asphalt shingle roof that's
Ah.
above the vault.
Okay. Can you do it from the siding on the outside? No, because it slopes the other way.
No, because I think when they put the uh, kitchen and bathroom additions on, they they put on another gable.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go into the attic that's above the men's room, I'm under the back gable and I'm looking at a lower gable, which was for the vault. If you can picture that.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like
11.5.
the elementary school. Every time they change something, they added another roof.
It's a priority low, 11.5,
Yep.
since it's not heated. Monitor.
So under animal infestation, you can see I didn't spell material or my fingers weren't working properly.
Oh, I thought it was Italian. Okay.
Thank you.
Monitor.
Yep.
On a priority low, like we should fix those, but
Is
not
there
really
any
heard
comments you want to
anything.
add there?
Sorry.
For
Oh,
12.1.
12.1.
I would just put like normal wear noted. Wasn't any real issues.
So then monitor for 12.1.
Thank you, Jeff. Further inspection required.
Yes.
Stairway is not applicable. Monitor a priority low.
Low.
Anticipate future need to replace
There you
actually.
go.
Monitor. You want to monitor that? There's nothing you do with powder post.
I would say monitor.
Okay. Anticipate future replace. If you want to get rid of asbestos. Priority low. Monitor. That's a good one.
Yeah, would this only come up if the building was undergoing a major renovation or what? Or a change in use?
Who uses the building now? Just Grace and the Historical Society.
Right. Well,
Record storage, right?
Record storage, yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what to call this.
Priority low.
Okay, great.
Okay, because until they change what they're doing with it, everyone can still walk in unless they hire someone in a wheelchair, and then becomes a records clerk, we'll have a problem.
Okay.
No, we'll accommodate.
Yep. And
Just as a point, I just looked at the inspection for the Spear Library. And again, there was a small amount of mold in the basement area. And that got a priority high. And I don't know if you want to be consistent or not.
For concerning mold.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's an occupied building. This isn't. So
okay,
that's our justification for high versus low.
Yeah,
okay.
I would agree also with like age. This isn't a building that children, under 6 are frequenting.
and it's also not a sealed building, it's a low use building. In low priority, we can have someone go in and with their spray bottle, their bleach and something, not bleach, whatever Stephen's recipe for that is, and spray it.
Priority low for lead.
And that is that. Good. So you wanted to go to the fire department next, Stephen?
Yes,
Copper lines, monitor.
Mm-hmm.
When you say terminate, are they capped or they're just dumping or pulling from it?
the bathrooms are venting into the attic.
Okay.
Okay, that's
They're-
You think it's high?
venting gases in a building, aren't they very toxic?
Oh, it's just
Yeah.
venting.
The
It sends it
plumbing.
into the attic.
Huh?
You're talking about the plumbing vents, right?
Yeah, the plumbing vents should go through the roof.
Yeah. They're probably more pulling air than.
Well,
Right.
actually, over the one for the toilets, that's the one place where there's a little bit of indication of excess moisture on the underside of the sheathing.
Okay, let's stay with high for now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we can,
It's a code
when we
item.
get to our highs, we'll have low, medium, and
Sure, sure.
Exactly. Exactly. Low, high, medium, high, high, high.
I think this is just monitor. I mean, this is really just a note.
Yeah, when it goes, and we have to replace it.
Right.
What was that? Go back to our options for action level.
Anticipate.
Anticipate future need to replace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same one for here. I think anticipate replacing, because most of the newer toilets will use less water and be more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
right, but when you want to replace the toilet in the ladies' bathroom runs, probably needs a new flapper because you can hear it every once in a while, refilling.
What about splitting these so that we recommend hot priority high for the toilet, and then for all the other like weak flow, anticipate future need to replace?
I don't know how to do that.
Or is that the feeling that we would want to replace the toilet, like, or fix or replace the toilet sooner than later, but that the shower seems less urgent?
Right.
Well, then let's do priority high
Yep.
and then,
And then we'll fix what we need and then change
well,
it.
yeah, well, we fix what we need. But this way we identify that it's something needs to be done.
Sure.
Monitor. Monitor.
I had that water heater installed. I think it was around 2014,
Uh,
2013.
Go back to where I suggested age.
Yeah. 2011 to 2015. So
Yeah, I think it's right in there. I think it was around, well, I don't know when it was manufactured, but when it was installed was around 2013, 2014.
Yeah, there was no date code, but it was manufactured according to a 2011 ANSI standard. So, and I think maybe in talking with Len, came up that sometime between 2011 and 2015. So, sounds right.
monitor.
Yeah. So who does this filter change?
Sam Evans from Ty and Bond.
Oh. Okay.
Again, I think for 9.3, you want to put priority high to get the GFCIs installed.
Monitor.
It's interesting. There's no GFCIs when you're dealing with wet tanks or wet trucks.
Right.
What I have a question. I mean, I get the GFCI and the wet locations, bathroom and kitchen, but what do you mean by where concrete floors exist? Is that a?
You're grounded standing on concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Just
Trucks
haven't
come
seen
in
that.
and the floors get wet, you know.
doesn't have to be wet.
No, I get it in practice. It's just in like the residential, if we have a house with like a concrete floors, they're finished floor, we don't GFCI every outlet in the house, just kitchens and baths.
Well,
basement,
is it
garage.
exposed concrete or is it carpet covered?
Exposed, yeah. I mean, we don't do we don't do that too often, but I have a couple times. Just sort of thinking out loud, like if that's a hole in the code or something we should have been doing differently or something.
Well, I mean, I could be wrong, and maybe it's, being in Baltimore, I don't know if they had some amendments, but it's like a garage, all garages, all receptacles have to be GFCI protected. All basement
Yeah.
receptacles where it's unfinished have to be GFCI protected.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the same. Yeah, basement, garage, bath, kitchen, or within 6 feet of water, but bath, kitchen. Yeah. All right. Anyways, I'll ask my electrician about that next time I see him.
By the way, I got a laugh out of this comment because it is the fire department.
Oh.
Right. The other, they have updated smoke detectors in all these other places, but going up the stairs, and why they have one on the sidewall of the stairs, I don't know, but there is one there and it's ancient.
I'll put priority. I just got a kick out of that because every time they sell a house, I got to go look at everything. So,
Right.
Shoemaker's kids.
They're not worried about selling.
yeah.
Haven't lost a foundation yet.
Right.
It's funny, I saw, the fire station had at one point was advertised on a real estate website for sale for I think it was $480,000 or something. I was like, what is going on?
There's the old fire station in South Deerfield is a residence. It's super cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Becky,
Well,
did you say you had to leave at 6:30?
Yes.
6:32?
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Becky.
Bye.
I
So, do people want to continue on or table this until next time?
I'm good to table it.
Okay.
Okay,
Then make a motion.
I make a motion to end the meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay.
All in favor? Cook,
Aye.
Ginn,
Aye.
Quackenbush,
Aye.
Dalmas, aye. So Anna, you're not going to be able to attend a meeting in 2 weeks, the 16th, right?
Correct. Yes.
Do we want to just pause for a month and then
Do it on the 30th, it would be 2 weeks after that.
and then I can also start to do the elementary school.
Okay,
And so we'll have our next meeting will be in a month,
Okay.
And 30.
Great.
the 30th.
Okay, thank you all.
okay.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Good night.
everyone.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.